This is a webinar all about harnessing predictive analytics and really enhancing those kind of marketing strategies that can be enhanced by our ability to predict or assume or learn about the future within our kind of marketing kind of processes. So let's get going. So for those of you who don't know who I am Robin Macmillan. I am a marketing nerd who was kind of put on this earth to understand data and MarTech and make these things simple and consumable so we can all access them to get more out of our marketing, more ROI on our marketing strategies, which of course means more money in the bank, more sales journeys completed, and business growth overall. I have my digital agency now based in Gothenburg. We're just about to open one in Copenhagen too. And it's been an interesting journey, kind of growing a digital agency in a country where at the beginning I didn't know the language or the culture. I'm also a course tutor based at Oxford College of Marketing for MarTech and AI within marketing. And I am also AI certified and certified within many areas of marketing. So a true kind of nerd data goblin. And we created this webinar series to support marketers to have access to these great pieces of technology, to demystify them, strip them back to the simple things that they actually are, and allow you to get more out of your marketing processes. So what are we going to look at today? So today is all about harnessing that power that we have within predictive analytics, and how we can use that to enhance our marketing strategies and make data-driven insights. We have so much data stored and hidden within our MarTech stack and our marketing processes, that why aren't we using that to kind of see what we need to be doing next, to stay relevant, to stay purposeful, to stay ahead of the game, to stay kind of at the forefront of marketing, so that our consumers, those that we interact with, the audiences that we're trying to get to make these decisions within our content and journeys, make it a much simpler process overall. So we're going to cover the basics to the complicated. We're going to look at what are predictive analytics. We're going to look at techniques for integrating predictive analytics into our processes. We're going to look at practical tips for using data and how we can personalize marketing efforts and improving our ROI overall. And then I'm going to give you tools that can kind of do this for you, support you, and you may already actually be using them. You're just not utilizing the predictive aspect as much as you could be to kind of improve the output after all the hard work that we do to create these gorgeous campaigns, to create these gorgeous processes. Actually, predictive analytics allows us to stay ahead of the changes we need to make. So what is predictive analytics, right? So when I talk about predictive analytics within the marketing kind of world, it is the use of data, statistical algorithms, and machine learning techniques to identify the likelihood of future outcomes based on historical data. And the goal, the overall purpose of using this technology and these processes is to go beyond what has happened to provide the best assessment of what will happen in the future. We all want to know what our consumers are thinking, are doing, are going to do next. Because as marketers, that information allows us to stay ahead and create that change that they are expecting before they even kind of recognize it. So that is what we are talking about when we talk about predictive analytics, right? And how we are going to implement that and use that within our marketing processes to get more out of our marketing overall. And it has some key components. It has 4 key sections. It's a process. Predictive analytics always, even if you're using a tool that does this for you, it will still go through these kind of processes internally. And the first one is your data collection, because we can't make decisions if we don't have data to analyze and look at. So it all starts with our data collection. So this could be historical data, gathering past data related to customer behavior, sales, market trends, behavioral data, so information on customer interactions, purchases, and online behavior. It could be demographic data that we all love, so we could segment age, gender, income, and location, for example. And the data for the data collection of component and predictive analytics for marketing can be sourced from a variety of internal and external sources that we have access to. So, for example, internal could be your customer relationship management, your CRM systems. This can collect your customer contact information, interaction history, purchase history, service requests and support tickets, for example. You could internally take your sales data, your marketing campaign data to either analyze yourself within a predictive process or to input into a predictive tool. And then external data sources. So we have good old social media, right? So there's a lot of data there. So that could be your public social media posts and the interactions that they have gleaned. It could be sentiment analysis data from platforms like Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. And all of that wonderful data that is stored in your MarTech stack. So I talk about MarTech as being data rich. We are utilizing platforms that are gathering and storing and collecting data. And all of this data, as long as it is clean, up to date, and useful, can be used in predictive analysis within your marketing. Yeah. So we already have it all. You don't need to go out hunting. It is already there. It lives within your internal sources like your CRM and anything external, such as your social media. And all of that data can be harnessed to glean insights into the future, to be predictive in your analysis. So that is the first kind of section here. We're looking at the data collection, yeah? And then we move on to data analysis. So this is where we take that information and we start to process it to make it useful for us to actually utilize and look at, compare, make decisions upon. Yeah. So the first thing that we can do is statistical analysis. So we can use statistics to understand relationships within the data. So we can start taking the data from flat, extensive, potentially overwhelming, to actually pulling out what we need to compare and utilize. We can then use things like machine learning. So this is where a bit of like AI starts to come in here. And especially in the later end of the webinar, I'll talk about how AI is really supporting predictive analytics. But this is algorithms that can learn from and make predictions from the data. And predictive analytics and marketing leverages a variety of tools to analyze data effectively. So we can analyze it, like statistical analysis can be performed using programming languages like R or Python, which also offer extensive libraries for us to be able to manipulate and move data around. There's also machine learning platforms. We have data visualization tools such as Tableau and Power BI and Click, where we can create interactive dashboards to be able to compare and utilize the data that we have pulled from our data collection. We then have like business intelligence tools, which help in analyzing and again, visualizing data, because realistically, data is purposeless if it doesn't have a way to showcase to you what it's trying to say. You don't want to be sitting there looking through thousands and thousands of reams of Excel spreadsheets when realistically you want to be able to do a great little bit of coding to pull the information that you want to compare and then make it accessible. So that is where we put things into dashboards. But I was recently at Measure Camp Copenhagen, and if no one knows what that is, it's a wonderful data analytics conference. And a very, very kind of esteemed speaker there said that dashboards is where data goes to die, because as soon as it's exported, it is it's dead, right? It's not connected to anything. So when you're creating dashboard kind of comparisons, make sure that you have a way to keep that data alive or keep it being able to be compared. And then we have things like customer analytics platforms like Google Analytics that can track our customer interactions and campaign performance. And then there's also specialized predictive analytics tools. So from the data collection, we take all of that data in our data-rich MarTech stack about our customers, our campaigns, whatever you're trying to look deeper into. And then, of course, we have to analyze it, yeah? So we either do this ourselves through kind of like coding and things like that, or you use platforms and tools to support you. The next is modeling. So this is where we kind of take this analysis and make it into kind of a way for us to really deeply analyze. And we do this through predictive models. So we then develop models that can forecast future trends and behaviors based on the data analysis we've done from the data that we collected. We can also do things like segmentation models. So this is where we identify distinct groups within a market to tailor strategies to, for example. And the modeling phase in predictive analytics typically occurs in environments designed for data analysis and machine learning. So it is a kind of tool or platform that we kind of utilize to do this. And what we're trying to do here is, out of the data analysis, once we've got the data that we kind of understood, we've put it together where we need it to be, the kind of this side is taking that information and then giving us clues about what we need to do next. Yeah, so this aspect is taking the data that we have analyzed and put together and kind of decided we want to focus on, and then kind of taking that information, recognizing patterns, recognizing the potential for something to happen, or the prosperity of a certain campaign, or purposefulness of the next thing to do, if that makes kind of sense there. And then we then have to implement, right? We have to then utilize this kind of modeling behavior. So then we can utilize tools and software. And obviously we need to make sure that we are continuously improving our models, our choice, our data collection, our data analysis, to get more and more out of the data that we are using to predict what we need to do next as marketers, yeah? So, oh, bless me. So as you can see, there's some key components that we need to kind of understand as marketers, because these components cause us questions as marketers. So the data, where are we collecting data from? Where can we utilize data from within our MarTech stack to feed into these predictive processes? How are we analyzing the data? Where does the data sit? What platforms are we using? How are we modeling then from the data? And what are we going to do then for implementation? So these are questions that we may need to ask if we're doing this in a formal process way and not using a predictive platform, for example. So how powerful is predictive analytics? So thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat. Do you want to know what your customers expect from you as a marketer? Is that something that you would like to know? Yeah, of course it is. Would you want to know what your customer segment is potentially changing their behavior within? Yeah, of course you would. So predictive analytics in marketing is actually extremely powerful, and it offers a multitude of benefits that enhance our marketing strategies, but also our business outcomes, because there is a purpose to why we're doing marketing, right? We're either working for ourselves, working for a client, working within an organization, owning our own agency, but the purpose of marketing is to drive an exchange. We put things out into the world that we expect people to follow a process of, which leads to a call to action being completed. Yeah. So we want them to fill in those forms. We want them to do that little survey so that we can take their data and then email them. So we are expecting this to happen. Predictive analytics helps us to understand what that process should be to get the better call to actions completed, or more call to actions completed, right? So it's very, very powerful. But let me put that in a marketing process, in a way that you can go away and do this straight away, right? So I'm going to go through an example of how you can harness predictive analytics with tools you already probably have, or you have a version of, yeah? And let's look at how we can initially use it to gain an enhanced customer understanding. Because sometimes when you're thinking about predictive analytics, this is a great place to start, because it just allows you to kind of go deeper into understanding the choices that people are making within your marketing processes, within the content that you're putting out there, within the campaigns that you've slaved over, yeah? And we all want to know what customers need, desire, and are thinking, right? And predictive analytics enables us as marketers to gain those deep insights into customer behaviors, into their preferences and their needs, yeah? So by analyzing historical data, businesses can predict those future behaviors and trends, leading to more effective targeting and personalization. So if I was going to give you a step-by-step kind of overview guide of how you could do that with predictive analytics, we're going to go through those things I said before. So data collection, data analysis, but I'm going to tell you how you could do that, yeah? So if we're going to try and understand or look into the enhanced kind of customer understanding within our data collection, we can look at different tools and platforms we already have to get that data. So we could look at our CRM systems, because they like Salesforce or HubSpot, because they collect data like dragons on customer interactions, purchase history, and demographic information, yeah? We can look at our e-commerce platforms, so we can gather data on product views, searches, purchases, cart abandonment. We can look at our web analytics tools, track website traffic, user behavior, and conversion metrics. What about our social media analytics? You know, HubSpot, that's 2 in 1, Hootsuite or Sprout Social. And we can monitor social media engagement, sentiment, and interactions. You could also have surveys and feedback tools. So SurveyMonkey, Qualtrics, yeah, that's the right name, and collect different feedback on different aspects of the customer journey. So the process here would be to integrate those various data sources into a centralized database or platform, and we would need to ensure the data quality. So we would need to make sure that we have unification in the data. So everything comes from a CSV with the same kind of titles, for example. And we need to make sure there's nothing like data duplication or old data that we're pulling in that will skew our kind of information overall. So that's an easy place to start, right? We have CRM systems, we have e-commerce platforms, we have our web analytics tools. We can take that data, clean it up slightly, and then push it into either a database or a platform that's going to do this predictive modeling and analysis for us, yeah? So that's step 1. Pretty easy, yeah? And we all have access to these platforms. And then kind of step 2. So the tools and platforms that we are kind of looking at here. So we need to be looking at our data analysis tools. So this could be Python for statistical analysis and data manipulation. We can be looking at our machine learning platforms. We can be looking at our BI tools, so we can leverage platforms like Tableau or Power BI for data visualization or exploratory kind of analysis. And then the process here would be to perform exploratory data analysis, EDA, to understand data distributions and relationships, and use statistical techniques to identify significant variables that influence customer behavior. Yeah, so this is where we would make sure that we have the right tools in our kind of data kind of understanding to take the data that we've found and collected and kind of put it all together. Yeah. So then what we would do is in the next kind of section is in our model building. So we would need to make sure that we have tools like either machine learning libraries if we want to do it ourselves, cloud services such as Google AI platform, Azure machine learning, or various things like that for scalability. And what we would do here is we would split our data into training and testing sets to validate model performance. So we would select appropriate algorithms, train the models, evaluate the model's performance, and then fine-tune models through cross-validation, for example. Or we would then put it into a predictive tool. So what I'm trying to do here is show you how you can do it in-house or utilize predictive kind of platforms, but you would need to understand the process. So even if you're using a predictive platform yourself, you would still need to know where you're getting your data from, how it needs to be analyzed and fed to the platform, and then added to the platform overall. And then the hard work comes, actually. This is where the hard work starts to become integral to how we use predictive analytics and how we get the most out of this platform realistically. And that's when it comes to our insights and kind of visualization. So this is where we use data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, or custom dashboards. And the process is we are visualizing, we are creating a visual, purposeful way for us to utilize and make insights understandable and actionable. What platforms do people currently use for data visualization? You can let me know in the chat. But the process here is that we are visualizing the results of predictive models to make insights understandable and actionable. And we're creating dashboards that display key metrics, customer segments, and predictive scores. Yeah. Because what do we want to do? We want to share insights with marketing teams and other stakeholders to inform strategy and decision-making overall. Data is difficult. Yeah, I always say that. So what we need to do is make data understandable. So when we make it visual, purposeful, and within the right key metrics, we actually start to get a process where we're allowing data to be accessible within our whole organization. How hard is it sometimes to explain your outcomes to C-suite or to a client? By actually giving clear insights, once all of this process is done, gives us a much cleaner way to make sure realistically that when we move on to the next kind of process, that we are actually utilizing the data. So an example workflow of what I have just spoke about goes in this kind of way, right? So we would start with our data integration. So this is where we integrate the CRM, the e-commerce, the web analytics, and social media data into your data warehouse. So once that is complete, we kind of go all the way forward into exploratory data analysis. So this is where you can use Python and Tableau to perform EDA and visualize those key trends, because that's what we want to know. We're trying to pull out that information. We then either go into a platform or we use model building ourselves, where we build a predictive model to forecast customer purchase likelihood. We move into visualization, and then we move into action. Action is a key part. It's all well and good doing all of this kind of analysis and all that kind of stuff, But actually, if there is no kind of implementation or action, then there's no point finding out all this wonderful predictive analytics that are telling you what you need to do next, unless you do something like use HubSpot to create personalized email campaigns, targeting customers with high purchase probabilities, and implement retention programs for at-risk customers. Because this is a great way to do things like, why are people abandoning carts? Why is there a high churn rate on this sales journey? Why are people dropping out before completing an action? And by following kind of this step-by-step process, marketers can effectively leverage predictive analytics to gain a deep understanding of customer behaviors, preferences, leading to more effective targeting and personalization strategies. Oh, everything stopped then. There we go. But as I say, marketers can stumble at this point, right? And this is where the use of predictive analytics actually goes down, because we've tried really hard to do this in the best way that we can. But when it comes to actual action, we sometimes fail as marketers to spark real action and change, because it can feel like navigating a huge maze, because there is a lot that could go wrong in this kind of process. And one big roadblock is the language barrier between data scientists and marketers. And sometimes, if you imagine data scientists as wizards speaking in very complex spells, and we as marketers are trying to decipher those spells without the magic book, that's how I always think of it. And this communication gap often leaves marketers not really understanding of how to turn these kind of insights into action. And another issue is the treasure hunt for data quality. So how are we going to actually find high quality data? Because as with many data analysis processes within marketing, predictive analytics thrives on clean, accurate data. But we often find ourselves wading through a swamp of messy, inconsistent, and incomplete data, right? It's like trying to build a beautiful, sturdy castle with a pile of mismatched Lego pieces overall. And without a solid foundation, the whole structure can wobble and fall apart. So then the insights that we actually glean from not quality data could actually be detrimental to the marketing process overall. And then there's the kind of tech and training hurdle. Predictive analytics tools can seem sometimes like they're out of a sci-fi movie. And many marketers feel they need a PhD just to turn them back on. And there is an issue of tech savvy skills, which can turn powerful tools into expensive paperweights. Yeah. So we have all these great things like Power BI and all of these kind of wonderful data warehouses, but we sometimes as marketers struggle to harness full potential. Oh, okay. I can still see me. I will just try turning my camera on and off again now for you. And then we also have what I call the comfort zone conundrum. So let me know in the chat if you are comfortable doing these kind of predictive analysis processes. Because realistically, traditional marketing methods are like a cozy old sweater, right? They're familiar, they are comfortable. And switching to data-driven decision-making feels like taking off that comfort and trading it for a stiff new suit sometimes, yeah? The resistance to change can actually be a major roadblock within organizations moving to a predictive model, like strategy. And also, one of my favorite problems that we as marketers sometimes encounter is the issue of aimless wandering. Yeah. Without clear goals, metrics, it's like starting off on a treasure hunt without your map. So you might have the tools and you might have the data, but without knowing what you're aiming for, it's hard to create insights that you can actually utilize. This lack of direction can make it difficult to demonstrate the value of predictive analytics and secure ongoing support. And you also may get so frustrated with it that you just stop trying to use it, right? If you're not getting quality data, you're trying to implement insights, you're not understanding how to visualize and share the next thing, it's difficult, right? But you just have to try and go back to the why you are doing it. Marketing KPIs, goals, and outcomes should always have a purposeful decision, like a backing of why you are doing it. If we are struggling with gaining data and trying to do insights for something as blasé as increase ROI across the organization, then predictive analytics isn't realistically going to do any better for you than any other traditional marketing method. But what you can do is, if you are looking to increase the ROI from your email segmentation in the kind of in your sales process, that's clear. We can take the data from those settings and add it to this process. So the data we take is kind of highlighting those kind of individuals. The exploration is done around that. The model is looking for the trends of why and what is happening. So we need to make sure that there is a connection between why we're trying to do this with our marketing goals and our organizational goals. Yeah. And any lack of direction can be difficult to pin data to, because data needs context, it needs a home, it needs to have a purpose, and it needs to sit within a positive kind of process. Or else data all of a sudden becomes annoying, overwhelming, and frustrating. And it is a wild ride sometimes, right? With predictive analytics, because of the potential communication barriers, data quality issues, the tech challenges, resistance to change, potentially unclear goals. And overcoming these obstacles requires bridging the gap, right, between all of those things, cleaning up that data, gearing up with the right skills and tools, stepping out your comfort zone. And then we can all of a sudden take the predictive analytics and turn it into a clear path. Yes, yeah, okay. So I'm just going to highlight some things in the chat. So not comfortable yet, still feel the need to be sure of how it works in order to assess validity. But guess that's where clean input comes in. Yes, clean data, having great goals and understanding the tools. So if you go back after this session and look through the different stages and go, oh yeah, we've got that tool, we've got that platform, we can do that here. Yeah, so you have a social media brand, and this is a struggle sometimes. One day you implement an action and it works, but the next it's so different. Yeah, but predictive analytics does allow us to stay a little bit ahead, right? So we can kind of use data to predict the next thing, which keeps us in a good place. So when we're not catching our tail all the time. Yeah. So that was, I went deep dive into that because I wanted you to see the processes. But so that was looking at enhanced customer understanding. Yeah. But what else can it actually do? So we have improved customer segmentation. So this kind of predictive analysis processes allow for more precise customer segmentation by identifying distinct groups on predictive patterns. And this ensures that marketing efforts are tailored to the specific needs and behaviors of customer segments, increasing the relevance and effectiveness of our overall campaigns. We can look at increasing ROI in certain areas. So by predicting the success of various marketing strategies and campaigns, predictive analytics helps allocate resources much more efficiently, maximizing that return on investment. So you can use predictive analytics to identify which channel, message, and timings are most likely to yield the best results, which could support the social media brand, for example. You can look at enhancing your conversion rates. So predictive analytics can forecast which leads are most likely to convert into customers, enabling sales teams to focus their efforts on high potential prospects. This targeted approach improves conversion rates and reduces the time and cost of customer acquisition. That's another big tick in my book, right? So all of a sudden we can be more targeted, we can support those individuals within our communities that are going to potentially be more profitable for us. And then if we look on the other side of the coin for that, we've got enhanced customer retention. So by identifying customers at risk of churn, businesses can implement targeted retention strategies to keep those valuable customers. Because the predictive models can analyze patterns that indicate potential churn, allowing for proactive measures to enhance that customer loyalty. And then we have personalization at scale. Because we can now utilize really fast AI processes, we can actually market into individual customer preferences and behaviors. Now, I don't know about you, but I love feeling seen, heard, and understood by the brands that I'm interacting with. And this allows us to do it in a great way. So other things that we can do: optimize marketing spend, market trend forecasting, enhance decision-making, and innovation and competitive advantage. So there's loads that predictive analytics supports within the marketing kind of processes. So thumbs up, thumbs down in the chat. Do you think that this is actually something that we need to be paying more attention to? Yeah. Do you think that this is something we need to get more comfortable with? Understanding the power of data, understanding the profiles or platforms that we can utilize to get that predictive information to get more out of our marketing overall. Yeah, because that's the basis of it, outside of the kind of tech wizardry that it may seem, right? So you may be saying, Robin, the whole process looks a little bit too technical for me. So I'm going to tell you some kind of platforms that you probably already have access to that can give you predictive analytics capabilities, right? So there are several platforms within the MarTech stack which are designed to perform predictive analytics. And some of the most popular ones that help us as marketers to make data-driven decisions and optimize strategies are HubSpot, yeah? So it's an all-in-one inbound marketing, sales, and service platform. Its predictive analytics features are lead scoring, predictive sales analytics, and customer behavior insights. And an example use case is enhancing lead qualification processes, forecasting sales outcomes, and personalizing marketing campaigns. Yeah. So that is something that you can do natively within HubSpot already. You just may need to dial in on that predictive then implementation, which is, you know, when I go back to here, so you have these predictive kind of potential uses within HubSpot, but are you actually using it? Are you actually using it within the processes? So then we have Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And so this is a comprehensive marketing automation and customer engagement platform. And its key analytics features are predictive scoring, Einstein, AI for predicting customer actions, and automated journey creation. Its use cases, one of the great things it does is optimize. It can help you to optimize email marketing, but predict customer churn as well. So you can put processes in place to keep those wonderful customers all kind of connected to you. You don't want to lose customers you've paid to acquire. Adobe Analytics, so this is part of the Adobe Experience Cloud, and it provides advanced analytics capabilities. So it's predictive analytics features, it's got predictive intelligence, anomaly detection, and customer segmentation, and its use cases. So this is a really great place to understand customer behavior, optimizing market spend, and predicting future trends. Yeah. And then we have things like Marketo Engage. So this is actually a marketing automation platform by Adobe. And this is great for lead scoring and account-based marketing insights. And a great use case here is personalizing content delivery through predictive analytics, prioritizing sales efforts and call to actions, and also enhancing account-based marketing strategies. And there are more in here, but because of the time, just check them through within the notes of the kind of section. But predictive analytics appears in other areas within the MarTech stack that you may not have noticed, yeah? And these tools and systems often help enhance customer relationship management, optimize content and advertising, improve customer service, and enhance overall business intelligence. So if we look at your customer relationship management, Salesforce, Microsoft, HubSpot, those kind of places now often have predictive analytics. You may just need to get used to the terminology that those different platforms use when giving you insights into how you can improve within that space. You also have things like your customer data platforms, your email marketing and automation. They are now amazing at utilizing predictive analytics for optimizing send times, predicting open rates, and personalizing content. And things like ActiveCampaign actually offers predictive content and split testing to optimize email campaigns based on predictive customer responses. You also have advertising platforms like Google Ads that employs predictive analytics to optimize ad targeting, that kind of thing, or allocate your budget more effectively. We then have Facebook ads, so use predictive analytics for audience targeting, ad placement optimization, and performance forecasting. You have content management systems, so WordPress is now actually being more and more predictive for things like Yoast and things and other plugins to optimize content for better engagement. And then we also have like our social media management, where Hootsuite can analyze social media engagement and use predictive analytics to suggest optimal posting times and content strategies. So now, like, as I've quickly gone through other places within the MarTech stack that are already probably being predictive in its way of supporting you to be better, do you recognize that you're probably utilizing predictive analytics passively within your marketing processes anyway? Thumbs up, thumbs down, just let me know. Because what I'm actually urging you to do in this webinar is to recognize what the process is, recognize where it could be already happening, but actually go in and deep dive and implement, test, and utilize and see if those predictive processes are actually gaining you better kind of ROI overall. Because you've also got your business intelligence tools like Tableau, Power BI, you've got your e-commerce platforms, your customer support, your web analytics. So there's so many places that there are predictive opportunities that are happening in isolation. And then it can become incredibly powerful when you do start to pull them in all together, unifying that data and putting them into a workflow and then taking action overall. Yeah. So there's loads of places that we could attempt to be more predictive and utilize predictive processes to get more out of our marketing, to enhance our marketing overall. And it wouldn't be one of my webinars without talking about AI, right? So AI is taking over our sector, many sectors actually, and is incredibly prevalent in the rhetoric when it comes to utilizing data. And that is because AI processes, which we'll talk about in a second, can do things much quicker than we can. It can take much larger data sets, it can find patterns that we probably did not recognize, and it can create outputs and insights very quickly and almost in real time. And how powerful is that, right? big, massive amounts of data suddenly become less scary and quicker to deal with. So one of the ways that AI is supporting predictive analytics is enhanced data processing, because it can automatically clean and pre-process large data sets. They can identify and correct errors, fill in missing values, and normalize data formats. And this streamlining of data preparation makes the process faster, more reliable, allowing for better quality data to go into the models or platforms you want to choose. It's also great at pattern recognition, because things like machine learning algorithms excel at that. They excel at identifying complex patterns and relationships within large data sets, like I said, that are often difficult for us as humans to detect. Go ahead, AI, do all of that for me, because actually all I want is the insights and to be able to add my expertise and experience on that to move forward and make better decisions. It's got better modeling. So AI-powered platforms can build and refine predictive models using a variety of machine learning techniques. NLP algorithms analyze text data from sources such as social media, customer reviews, and other textual content to predict customer sentiment and behavior. So they've got these really hyper specialized processes already. So we can take advantage of that within our predictive analytics kind of processes to get more out of our process, make it quicker, more seamless, check the quality of the data quicker, and those kind of things. It can also happen in real time. So AI enables the real-time processing of data, allowing marketers to make immediate decisions based on current customer behavior and trends. That is wonderful. There's no stopgap, there's no delay in what we can kind of implement. Yeah, we can kind of be analyzing all of this information as it happens and then using the insights to make data-driven decisions moving forward. We've got better customer segmentation and better targeting, because AI analyzes customer behavior data to create detailed segments based on predicted future actions, preferences, and needs. And we also have an amazing thing called lookalike modeling. So AI can identify and target new prospects who resemble a company's best customers by analyzing their characteristics and behaviors. And then we have kind of campaign optimization. So AI can predict the performance of marketing campaigns by analyzing historical data and current trends. So as you can see, it's great, right? And what you'll see is that there is a lot of predictive analytics platforms that are utilizing AI to give you better insights and to predict the next best outcome. You'll see things within MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, HubSpot, Salesforce that are linked to this AI-powered kind of data analysis. And because it can do it quicker, it can do it much better than we can. It gives us access to be able to make these bigger, better decisions quicker, to inform or change our processes to make bigger, better choices. And that is what it all comes down to. If we have the data on what we are statistically best doing next to increase our ROI, to understand our customers better, that is a great place to be as a marketer. We are living in a ever saturated digital world, and actually being able to utilize and see all of the data that we actually have at our fingertips, but in a way that we can use it, that's what predictive analytics does for us. But you know what makes me super sad? Even sadder than sadness from inside out is that we are not implementing the potential of predictive analytics within our marketing strategy. So despite the potential of predictive analytics to really revolutionize our marketing processes with data we already have access to, many organizations and individuals still struggle to harness its full power. And according to recent reports, which I will link in my slides in the notes for you, a significant number of large businesses, small businesses, startups fail to implement predictive analytics correctly, with challenges, like I say, ranging from a lack of clear business objectives to issues with data quality and integration. But one of the primary reasons is the absence of the well-defined strategy and the clear goals. So many companies, many individuals want to jump into predictive analytics without a solid understanding of what they want to achieve, which leads to misaligned efforts and overall disappointing results. And again, of course, data quality is a major hurdle. And also organizations and individuals are doing all of the hard work, right? They're collecting the data, they're putting it into a data warehouse, they're running it through a modeling process, and then they're getting the insights, but then they're not implementing. So this could be because there's a cultural resistance to change. Many organizations are accustomed to traditional marketing approaches and may be hesitant to adopt new data-driven methodologies. But this resistance can impede the integration of staying ahead and using the predictive analytics to move forward and continue growing an organization. So that is what I want to leave you with today, is that I don't want to be sad anymore. I want you to go away. I want you to have the knowledge and understanding of the power of predictive analytics, where you can go and look for it in your MarTech stack, and how you can begin to level up your kind of use of this strategy realistically, because it is something that is going to become more and more purposeful, useful, and empowered due to the use of the AI capabilities that are supporting this process. So has anyone got any questions for me about predictive analytics? If you want to put them into the chat, and then I will just go through the last couple of slides. So, as you know, I am a tutor at Oxford College of Marketing, and I actually run one of the kind of CIM Specialist Digital Awards, and that is AI within marketing. So if you want to deep dive into that with me, it's a really fun course. It goes through all the kind of technological kind of side of it, all the way up to the kind of how you implement and plan and bring it internally into an organization. And then I don't know if any of you have joined our MarTech Club on Slack. It's run by me and Oxford College of Marketing, and it's where we can all kind of get together to discuss kind of AI, marketing, MarTech. I stick loads of upcoming tools and changes and regulation for data and things like that in there. We have conversations about the future of AI within marketing and things like that. And it's just a great place to keep informed and up to date with the rapid changes in technology and data practices overall. Yeah, so the link will be kind of sent out to you. So has anyone got any questions from today? And like I say, predictive analytics can feel very big, but you can start small. You can start looking at what is already happening within your own kind of MarTech stack. But the key is how you implement it, how you act upon those insights, and how you then test realistically the impact of what you've chosen to do. Okay. So thank you very much for spending your Monday kind of dinner with you. I really appreciate it. The slides and things will be sent out to you. And I really look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time, where we go through the power of ChatGPT. We do a real deep dive into that platform in 2 weeks. Okay. Have a really good rest of your day.